Hey everyone, welcome back to Artistic Painting Studio. I am Maureen Curtis Dunbar from Painted Studio just outside Chicago. I am Jennifer's guest retailer today with projects galore. Now, if you happen to catch my share of the marathon yesterday, I started a bunch of projects and we're going to continue on with them today. And you know, I might even have to continue on to a live on my own page to get some stuff done today. It's chaos here in the studio. You might see some of the mess behind me, which doesn't look too bad, but if you could see the tables around here, oh my God, it looks like the studio blew up. So we're gonna move on into projects. So let's see. We'll start with our fun little cutout. Hey, Rhonda, nice to see you. So this is how our cutout that we showed yesterday has dried. We did the background with metallic plasters, created the background patterns using chip brushes and rollers, and then mixed bead gel with pigments and put it through our stencils. And this is so cute. And I'm going to bring it up close to see if you can see that bead gel texture. Look at how awesome and glittery and wonderful looking that is. I love that. So the next thing we're going to do on this is I cut out a bunch. I did my Cricut and I cut out some coral shapes. So I'm going to choose one to go here at the top. Now I could put a little coral here. I know bead gel is awesome. I'm going to flip this down because I realized you're looking at the top of my head and I forgot to turn the camera down. So give me just a second because I've got to move my iPad. I told you people, it is a chaotic mess here and I just have to try to make some room. So here we go, flip down. There we go. Let me get my iPad open to Artistic Painting Studio because I can generally sort of see the questions, but it's easier if I see it on Facebook with the iPad. So turn the volume down because I was watching videos before. I don't know what you all do all day when you're in the studio, but I tend to either have music on or watch a video. And I've been watching Keeping Up with Appearances. And you know what? I'm going to give up the iPad. Forget it. I don't need to watch that. I'll see your questions here, but I've been watching Keeping Up with Appearances. Mrs. Bouquet, the lady of the house speaking. And I get a big kick out of that. So I'm going to cut this apart so that I can put it wherever I want it. This one's going right in the center on the top. Excuse me. Whoever decided to have a pandemic in the middle of allergy seasons makes it a little interesting. All right, so what I've done is I put a transfer sheet on the front. I'm going to start peeling off the backing here. And yeah, it might have been faster had I gotten this done ahead of time, but what fun would that have been? It's more fun watching me try to figure this out as I go along. All right, now do I want it up that high where it cuts off, or do I want it down a little lower? I think I just kind of need to feel it though to make sure I'm close to centered. I think that's pretty good. And then I could go up just a little higher. So it's a matter of getting the stencil on, getting it fairly centered, and then peeling it back. So I've got that on there. I normally would try to burnish it with like my brayer or something like that, but the surface here is pretty textured, so it's not going to want to work that well for that kind of adhering. So I just have to try to do my best to peel it back and keep it stuck on the surface. A textured and porous surface is not always the best thing for a product like this. So that's why, of course, I had to do it. I had to make my own life challenging. Get that down there, peel it back, roll it down. And again, you can see I'm rolling this back. I'm not pulling it straight up because you pull any of these adhesive stencils, no matter whether you make your own or you buy somebody else's. If you pull it straight up, you put a lot of pressure and torque on the stencil, you're apt to stretch it, pull it, twist it, or tear it. Whereas if you just kind of roll this back flat, you have a much better release. And I'm going to say that, and of course it'll probably do something really embarrassing as I say it. Okay, let's get it down. Where's my little picker thing? There's my picker. And here we go. Now, because I was running so late and running behind today, I was trying desperately to get on here at 4:30 like I always do, and while I made the time, I kind of jammed through some stuff. I forgot to turn off notifications on my phone, so who knows, I might get like 4 phone calls. And one thing I have noticed lately, it's been a big slowdown on the weird spam calls that I used to get all day, every day. It's like somehow that seems to have fallen to the wayside. Okay, let's get that down, and we're almost there. This is being stinky. I'm gonna cut part of this off and come at it from the other direction. If it's fighting me one way, I find a different way to do it. There's that. Now let's come at it this way. Now I cut this on my Cricut Maker too. I didn't buy any special programs. This was part of the library that I signed up for when I bought my Cricut. Come on, stick down there, you little stinker. There we go. So stuck down before, and sometimes they re-stick to the transfer sheet, and then you got to get them back off again. It can be a little challenging. And any of you who've worked with your Cricut Maker to play with vinyl, I'm sure this is not a novel experience for you. You've seen what happens. Your surface can be challenging, so getting the vinyl to stick can also be a little challenging. Let's get the last of this off. We're almost there. And there we go. So now I'll go back, pat the whole thing down, smear it. Sorry for the shaking tables. Hi, Pam. Yes, isn't Keeping Up Appearances awesome? It's one of those wonderful, totally wholesome, clean humored, fun. It's like watching, well, it's not even like watching Benny Hill. Benny Hill was a little scandalous for his time. All right, so now I've got that on there. I just want to grab a couple pieces of tape because I want to make sure that these two edges don't bleed into the workspace below, or the clean space below. And I have got one of these rolls of tape that never wants to release tape, so this, I feel like I'm challenging myself on everything today. I've got tape that doesn't want to untape. I've got stencils that don't want to unstencil. I'm having a moment here. And if you get tape that does this, doesn't want to unroll, it's usually because it's either got stuff stuck to the side or it's been dented. My husband used to own a paper and adhesives company. So he used to tell me all the ways that I screwed up my rolls of tape. And not in a mean way. I'd call and say, my stupid tape is being annoying. He's like, so what did you hit the tape on? And then I'd be like, my husband's being a little annoying. No, he wasn't. He was being very sweet. He was helping me solve problems. All right, so I've got that on there. I just want a little more down here, even though I'm kind of making a mess with this tape roll. I'm just tired of fighting the tape. I know you all do this. I know you've all been through this tape nightmare. And all you want to do is get off one good piece of tape, and it just doesn't want to roll that way. And look at that. This is just ridiculous. I'm getting so frustrated watching myself. Okay. I don't know where I got this roll of tape and why it's doing that, but it sure is not the best roll I've ever had. Finally, a piece of tape, finally. Okay, well, thanks for watching our live today on how I take tape off the roll. All right, now we can actually get some work done. I gotta take a cup here, and then I gotta find my, let's see, where's what I need? I'm over here grabbing things. That's glass bead gel. That's not it. That's not it. That's metallic paste. I have everything in front of me except the gel medium that I needed. Hang on. What you all can't see is that there are 5 gallons of product, all ArtsSyVille in front of me, and none of them were the gel medium that I actually needed. So we're going to take the gel medium, which, let me pull my thing back here. This is what it looks like. It's creamy. It's gorgeous. I love it. Hey, Carrie, nice to see you. Rhonda, that's a great tip, Rhonda. Pop your tape into the microwave for 15 seconds. I'm not sure if that would solve the issue for this one in particular, simply because it's a bad roll of tape that unearthed from I don't know where. All right, I got my spoon. I've got some gel medium in my cup, and now I'm going to tint it. This product can be tinted with any pigment colorant that dissolves in water-based paint. I think today I am going to use our primary elements in Beach House Blue. And I'm using these because these are metallic, so when they dry, it'll be with the little bit of metallic that's in here. They'll be with the metallic paste, so we've got kind of a metallic thing going on. I'm going to put some Beach House Blue in here, and then I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to see how the color is if I want to take it down. And I'm using about 1/8 of a teaspoon per ounce. And this stuff, it just mixes up quickly. I usually, I don't know if you saw it, who might have seen this yesterday. When I use any kind of powdered pigment, I like to mix it, and then when I can, I like to sit and let the pigment bloom for a minute. And what that means is that dry pigments, hi Carrie, nice to see you, hi Eva. Dry pigments need a little moisture in them to dissolve. So even if I've mixed it and it looks fine, all of a sudden I'll come back, and if you look in there, I'm not sure it shows, I think you can see it on the side, the dry pigments start to expand and moisturize, and then it looks like little pellets of color in here. So you kind of have to go mix it up, let it sit for a minute, and then come back and mix a little more. I think this might need a little more pigment. It's looking a little light, even though it'll dry this gorgeous color and it won't look whitish. I just want to make sure I've got enough pigment in here so that it actually looks like something on here. Make sure I've got the Beach House Blue before I do it. go. Like I said, average measurement with this pigment is about 1/8 of a teaspoon per ounce. I don't have a full ounce in here, I don't think. And I think I used about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And this product just, it's so super easy and creamy to work with. I love these mediums. Now we're gonna jazz this up a little more because why not? We're gonna add some of our ice glitter, ArtsSyVille ice glitter. Because, you know, I can. How much glitter you add is your choice on how glittery you want to make it. If you only want a little glitter, just put in a little glitter. If you want it super glittery, go crazy, pour it in. It does not affect how this product bonds to the surface. It doesn't affect how the color works. It actually will read sparkly and right through this once it dries, because what happens is this medium, while it looks pale and light blue in here, will dry and dry deeper color on here, because this looked very pale when we did it yesterday, and look how rich. So now I'm going to put on my gloves. Because I don't really need to be wearing this under my fingernails for the next week. I'm going to test my color. To test color, sometimes I just take it out and smear it on here to see if I'm in the right shade of blue, because these are very vibrant. And yesterday I added a touch of burnt umber to my mixture, and I think I'm probably going to do the same today, just because I'm afraid it might be too bright against this background. Just might need a little bit of toning down. So a great way, you can add, if you want to tone down the intensity of your colors, there's a couple ways to do it. One, you can add the color that's opposite to it on the color wheel, or you can add a little brown to something and it just sort of muds it up a little bit and takes down the intensity, which is exactly what I wanted, and it's doing that perfectly. Not too brown, not dirty looking, just taking it from being super bright when I haven't done a really bright bunch of colors on here. Really, really nice and beachy. All right, so now I can use a little trowel, I can use a brush, I can use all kinds of stuff. I want to make sure I've tapped that down on there right. But I'm going to use old hotel room keys. I used to travel a lot. I used to travel a lot, so I always had a ton of room keys left over, and I just kept them. And my mother traveled when she was still with us. She traveled constantly, so she would save up hotel room keys every year for me for Christmas, put a rubber band around them, and stick them in my Christmas stocking. And yes, I still get a Christmas stocking at my age. My mother filled it or would send things to go in it for as long as she lived. It was always a part of my Christmas stocking. Okay, so you can see I've got that troweled on there, 100% coverage. And I'm going to pull it back. I could wait until it dries a little, but I don't want to have any little odd bits embedded in there by accident. That's so cute. Now I'm gonna have a little cleanup right there. I can see it because I had a little bleed under. And again, I did this yesterday. I like to keep at least one glove on when I'm picking the stencil out of wet material, because that gives me a finger to lift with, and I'm not getting stuff all over my hands, so I don't. I have trouble gripping stuff, and then it gets gooey under my nails and it's just miserable. So I like to try to wear gloves for doing stuff like this. Look how cute this is. Come on, my picker. Now I have a lot of little bleeds here, but that's actually okay with coral because coral is organic and it can have some rough edges. So for this one, I don't mind it. It would actually be way messier to try to clean up most of this bleed. And the bleed happened not because of the stencil. It happened because we had a highly textured surface that this stencil did not like being applied to. So the stencil could not get itself into all the little crevices on the surface. And I just dropped my bit right into the piece there. Fortunately, I got it up and didn't mess anything up. So any of the bleeds are more an issue of the surface being challenging. But look how cute that looks on there. I've got my little coral, and I'll probably put another piece of coral here and here, and it'll balance out. So we're gonna set that to the side right now, let that dry, put that back there. All right, I'm gonna take my gloves off, and maybe I'll peel these little stencil bits out of the way since yesterday I could not stop sticking my elbows in them. Put them further away. And we're gonna move on to our next shape. Oh, if I you know what? I put all kinds of stuff under my nails, but really what I need to do is just always try to remember to wear gloves. I'm tired of ruining my manicures. But that's a great suggestion, Pam, thank you. All right, so yesterday you might have seen that we painted this chicken, wooden chicken cutout, painted with spruce green, metal glow from Faux Effects, and then applied ArtsSyVille foil adhesive 100% over the whole surface. There's our ArtsSyVille foil adhesive. It's had since yesterday to set up, so I know we're good and dry, and we're gonna foil our chicken in Serengeti foil, our brand new Serengeti foil. I love this. I think this is so cute. Alrighty. Now I want to place this. Sorry, I got to flip it to me so I can see it, and I can, because I brushed diagonally, but I don't want to do that with the, I don't want diagonal foil on the chicken, and this is a very vertical or horizontal foil, so I have to pay attention to how I lay it down. And I'm not going to rub towards either edge, because then when I have to overlap the foil, I won't have a hard line and it'll read better. I won't have a sharp edge that you can see the whole place where the one foil stopped and where one began. And then I'm going to take this and we're going to rub here. I'm just feeling for the feet because I got to get the feet. And again, I'm going vertically and horizontally. The reason I do that, because if I do this, you can see the swirl mark when I scrub. Take a peek up and see how it's releasing. Oh yeah, that looks great. Let's pull it back here. That is a cool foil. And you can see, we got really good release. You can see almost the entire rooster or the entire chicken. I have to remember it's a chicken, not a rooster, it's a chicken. I just, of course, set the, I am making my own life so hard today. Oh my God. This is how I've done everything all day today. Every time I think I've got it organized, then I put something down in something it shouldn't be put down on. All day, every day. That's how I've been doing it. Okay, I'm gonna take a little more Serengeti foil. Try not to get it stuck where it doesn't need to be stuck. And then I'm going to overlap my foil. Oh yeah, that's a great look. Let me get to this side. And the color you choose under your foil is really important, because in areas like this where you might have a little break, if your foil breaks and cracks on the surface, which they all do, it's unavoidable, the color that you paint underneath will peek through. So you want it to be something that complements what you already have. And I knew I was doing this particular foil, so I picked the green paint because there is green in the foil that is virtually identical, and I wanted to make sure to get it and apply it. I just want to see if I can get back and release a little more here and there. And the spots that I see are a little thin. Let's not turn it the wrong way, Maury. Don't get a horizontal going in your vertical pattern. That would not make you happy. All this stuff we have to think of when we do these things. Okay, so, I mean, that alone, look how cool that is. Hey, Maddie, nice to see you. I mean, that Serengeti foil is awesome, and it's perfect for something rustic like this chicken. It's not as shiny metallic as some of the other ones. It's got a little bit of mattness to it. And of course, because I have to, I created a stencil to go over it. It says, what does it say? Life is just better in the country. So we're gonna put that right in there on the chicken. And then I'm gonna determine whether or not we got room to put fresh in there. Or if I wanted, it's not gonna fit right that way. I don't think it's gonna, nope. So we're just gonna do this one. And I'm sure you're like, oh, thank God she's only doing one. I don't have to watch that again. Well, more than once. All right, so let's peel this back a little bit. I gotta open my vinyl. This is the hardest part, is getting the vinyl started. Of course, it doesn't want to. Before I forget, I should just make sure I've got it well adhered to the transfer tape. I always forget to do that, and then I always make my own life harder by forgetting to do that. So by burnishing it that way, you can either use a brayer or something solid and plastic like I just used, the burnisher, and it helps these to stick better to each other. Oh, come on. The other one peeled so easily, so now this one's going to be a pain in the butt, and I've got to work it. There we go. Okay. Now, a lot of times, if this was bigger, I would be doing this process on a larger surface where this would be tacked to the surface, and then I'd be pulling this out from under the stencil. But because it's so small, and I do have little details to pull back, I prefer to do it this way. It's a personal preference. If you have ways that work better for you, go for it. This is my way. That doesn't mean it's always the right way. It's probably somebody knows something, might even have a better idea. And I'm always open for a better idea. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm always open for another better idea. Okay, I'm gonna stick that down there. Now this won't take as long as that coral did, because that was a little bit more challenging with all those strange cutouts and strange shapes. Let's not lose that one. I popped out the center of a letter, so now I've got to get it replaced back in there. I feel like I need another allergy pill. My nose is starting to run. So if you hear me sniffling, that's why. No, I'm not sick. My family is taking very good care of me to make sure I don't get sick. But it's allergy season. So my nose wants to run all the time. Almost. Keep thinking I'm at the end of it, and then another word pops up and rolls back the center of a letter or something. If you ever wondered why doing something like this gets expensive, it's not the materials, it's the time. Woohoo! I got it out. I'll set that to the side. I'll get the center of my E back in where it belongs. And then we're going to take our chicken and put it down here. Make sure I put the letters the right side up. Okay, it says life is better in the just better in the country now. I am a city girl, but I do appreciate some country life. Let me tell you, we used to go up to the country as kids. My sister was an avid horsewoman. I did not get the gene that says I can ride a horse. I got the gene that says I can't even hold a horse because it takes over. And that, true story, my sister was at a horse show. And I'm generally not afraid of animals, but I don't care for horses because they're so much bigger than I am. And I respect the fact that they could do damage to me. And so my sister hands me the reins to her horse in the middle of a horse show. She had to go do something. And I kept saying, you really don't want to do this. You really don't want to give me this horse. You really just don't want to hand me the reins. And a girl I went to high school with, Liz Shelpert, rode horses at that time too, and she was in the same show. And I don't know how we could have managed this more intentionally if we wanted to. The horse I was holding just wandered into the middle. It turned itself around like I was the center of a pole, and it just went from like standing over here to standing right over here, right in the middle of the path for the riders to go into the ring. And I remember getting my head handed to me for that by both my sister and the other rider and the girl I went to high school with. And all I kept saying is, you were dumb enough to hand me the horse when I told you I didn't want the horse. So there's my experience with horses. And now I don't think my back would ever be very friendly to being on a horse again. So what I'm about to do here now, I've got the stencil applied, and I'm scooping out from my texture medium, our ArtsSyVille texture medium. And this stuff is, Jennifer has described it before as that. It is like marshmallow fluff. You can see I just got a little on there. You know why I don't worry? Because I have a towel, and I have some water around here somewhere, or I did. I have a little alcohol, that'll work too. Just spritz it on my cloth. And now it's gone. Perfect. Now the next thing I need to do is, I don't want to put this on here just plain white. I want to put a little color in here. I'm going to put a touch of the same brown. And this metallic, I don't normally use these powder pigments in this. Because this metallic will not show up in a white base product like this. But because it's the same base burnt umber that I had used for other things, I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of this. And I just want to soften this white up to make it a kind of an off-white, because otherwise it's going to look really harsh on this. And I haven't decided if I'm going to stain this, if I'm going to glaze this, what I'm going to do. But first thing I want to do is take the total whiteness down a little bit. I always forget when I mix this up, this burnt umber pigment has a little bit of blue in it. So when it gets dampened, you can see blooms of blue in it. All right, while that sits there for a minute, I'll take my hand there, and I'm gonna throw my gloves back on. And we're gonna work on this one. I was gonna work on a crown today, but you all bought all my crowns out from under me. So thank you very much for your purchases, but now I don't have a crown to paint, so those are coming in. But I do still have the chickens and the pigs and the sandcastles and lots of other stuff. Jennifer has the crowns. She has lots of crowns, so definitely check out Jennifer and her crowns. They are so cute. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep it thin because I still need to be able to see the center of the letters to pop them out. And all I'm gonna do is trowel it over this surface, just enough to fill in the letters. And I probably made about 15 times more than I really needed. Because you can see, it didn't take very much. If I wanted to build it up higher, I'd sort of butter it on so I really didn't see it like right there. But I'm gonna pull it back a little. I wanna see a little less opacity. Trust me, I looked at all of these things and I thought I had farm fresh eggs, I had all these fun signs, and I just thought, you know what? Instead of being specific to a chicken, we're just gonna go with it as life is better in the country. And I do love a good country vacation. I really do. Now I've gotta be gentle lifting this up because this is gonna still wanna pull off some of my foil. You can see it may release a little bit on the back of this. That pulled off nicely for the most part. And then I'm gonna go in here again with my picker, and I'm keeping one glove on so that I can pick up the goopy stuff. Let's get under here with the picker. Yeah, crud. I stuck my finger in it in the way I didn't want to. Now, when you do something like I did, like I just stuck my finger there, you can take a little tiny paintbrush. Let me reach into my bin. A little tiny paintbrush. Go right into the plaster and just sort of touch it up a little bit. Dab it in a little. There you go. And since I obviously I'm being very clumsy today, I think me not plucking out the rest of this might be the smartest thing. I'll just let it dry. And this will pull out just fine when it's dry because it's so thin. But again, look at how cute that is. Life is just better in the country. Maybe I'll put something over here. Maybe I'll put a couple little eggs. Maybe I'll put some baby chicks. I don't know, but look how cute that is. I mean, just we're just starting on that. Okay, and I think one last I was going to share with you is this is where we went yesterday. This is my little piggy, and yesterday on the live we got the pig laid down, the farm fresh flowers laid down on there, and I thought that came out so cute. It's a little textury because I did not have my stencil laid down well. But I thought that was awfully cute. And I'm trying to think about I'm definitely trying to think about what do we want to do next here? Give me some ideas. I'm not going to foil over this. I have a stencil, but I don't think anybody wants to sit here and watch me do those again. So I'm thinking, should we save it for another day? Yeah, maybe we're going to save that one for another day. You've been watching me for a while. I'll save it for tomorrow or Monday. All right, everybody. It's been great having you here. Appreciate your patience with my little bit of chaos going on because it's just that kind of day. And I hope everybody's having fun. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Please sprinkle the love on this. We'd love to see it sprinkled. The more love, the more contests, it's fun gatherings we have. More opportunities we have to do things like I'm doing on Jennifer's page. So please, please, please share the love. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And keep your eyes out. There's probably going to be, I think Jennifer's got more marathons planned and more guest vendors planned. So definitely enjoy all of us being here for you. I hope it makes your day and have a good one. Bye, everybody. Thanks.